Hi everyone, it's Melissa here with the Creative Season. I can't believe this is our final Christmas project, and this week we are doing a really whimsical light Christmas painting with our watercolors and our ink pens. This is going to take you no longer than maybe 30 minutes, and I've split it up into 2 different sessions. It is so cute. I love our Charlie Brown Christmas tree. We're bringing in all the colors, all the feels of Christmas. So Merry Christmas everyone, and I'm so glad you're here with me painting right before the holiday. Go ahead and grab your paints, a 6x9-inch piece of watercolor paper, and let's get started. Hey everyone, it is Christmas week and we are coming into the final stretch of all of our Christmas paintings together, and I'm so glad to be here with you on Christmas week and to paint and sketch with you. I have just grabbed one of the splatter papers that I had from all of the Advent art we've been doing. I've been doing a lot of splatter art this month, and of course we had the tree, so I'm just grabbing one of the papers that I have been using. It's a 6x9, and we are simply going to do a quick Christmas sketch. I know it is busy and we've all got stuff going on, and what I thought I would do today is I'm going to sketch actually a close-up of a house. And really it was an idea I had when I was just doodling. I was thinking about December, this was a couple months back, and thinking about the season and what we were going to be doing and planning and painting and the courses, the Home for the Holidays course, etc. And I was just having fun and made this little cute little sketch of a Charlie Brown Christmas tree in front of a home. And I thought, we're just going to do that today. We're going to do a cute little Charlie Brown Christmas tree. And it's going to be in front of a home with a door and a wreath and a window. And instead of doing the whole house, we're just going to do part of the house. So this is going to be fun. This is the window right here. Let me make sure you can see that I am using my micron pen today so that you can see this a little bit better. Even though we're on the splatter paper, I'll just be doing a wash over the splatters, and it's, I think, going to just be really, really fun and cute and simple. This is just really doodling and sketching. Nothing too complicated, so I'm making my window here. Usually I would start with the exterior of the house, but this time I'm building the house out. And when I run out of paper, we run out of paper. And that's kind of another fun way to do this. So we'll create this inside. We'll end up making some window panes. I am going to go ahead though, I'm going to make some lovely ornaments here, right over here as well. And we are going to just do a couple more. Of course, this poor sweet Charlie Brown tree is being weighed down by the ornaments, right? Goodness. Isn't he cute though? I really like him. Okay, we're going to make sure you can see all the way inside here and bring this down a bit. Okay, now next to it, of course, we're going to have a door. So I'm just going to create this door. You can grab a ruler if you'd like. And if I want, I do have a ruler. Sometimes that helps me because sometimes I start going a little bit off. So I am just going to, that's going to be my door. I'm going to bring my door all the way to the end of the painting. And it's going to be, let's say just about here to where my Charlie Brown tree is. And I'm going to have my doorknob. And what I'm actually going to have too is a lovely wreath. And I am going to try to stick most of the wreath on there. I'm going to add a little bow here. So we're including a lot of the elements that we've been doing in both the Advent art and in our other art throughout the whole month. I've really enjoyed creating with you. It's been lots of fun. I hope you've enjoyed it as well. And okay, so with my little wreath here, I'm going to go ahead and make some markings. We're doing a little bit backwards today. Instead of doing the micron pen on the other side of the painting, we're doing it first. But I think that is going to be lovely. I actually, for my wreath this year, I have this really cute twiggy wreath. It's just a plain twiggy wreath, and I stuck in some berries and some snowy pine cones, and that's kind of what's happening this year. You know, when you realize, oh, I've run out of time for certain things, and that is okay. Some years allow for more things than others, right? Okay, so here we have this. Now, if I wanted to as well, I might do something over this window. And I'm still thinking about that. I'm still thinking if I want to do, I guess I could do a garland or whatnot. I could do another window coming down, or we could just leave it blank for now. I am thinking by my Charlie Brown Christmas tree, I am going to go ahead. I don't know why. I just wanted to create almost like maybe a box. Maybe someone left a present. I don't know. I'm just going to create maybe a little basket is what this is going to be. And it's going to be full of oranges. Maybe this is full of fruit. It's a gift. Ooh, it's a gift from a neighbor. Hopefully you're still seeing that. It's a gift from a neighbor. And the neighbor has dropped off. We're going to put a little bow right here. A basket of fruit. How kind. A basket of oranges. They have those tangerines in the stores right now. They are so good. And you know what? One of the tangerines fell out, as they do. So we're going to put one right there. We're going to do some shadowing, of course. If you want to maybe make your horizon line too, so we kind of get that semi-straight. There we go. All right. Okay, now I am going to, in my window here, I am going to go ahead and then draw out my window panes, and I'll probably end up coming back here and maybe making some more marks, but I'm going to go ahead and sketch all the way across, so it'll be a total of 12. Okay. All right, that's super cute. I really like it. We do have this space up here, which I'm still thinking about. And you know what? Maybe I want to just create another little, we're going to pretend we're going to do a nice little, one of those, you know those hanging wreaths? That's what we're going to do. I think this might be a little bit much for the house because we're on like, what, 3 bows now, but you know what? That's okay. We're going to do this, and I'm going to throw out the bow, and the bow ribbons are going to be uneven in length, and we are going to have our evergreens sticking out all over the place because in my dream home, one day, I am going to have just those lovely bows of cheerful Christmas evergreen everything. And they're going to be everywhere. So that's cute. And that would just be above the window because that is what I'm thinking about. And if that is too much for you, please just leave it off. You know how we like to do things here. We like to create and imagine and not get too stressed about reality and just kind of keep it our own, whatever might bring you a little bit of joy. All right, so let's go ahead, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start actually with a bit. We're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to put my red down first, and I am mixing my cadmium red here, and it is so red. I'm going to mix it with some pink. So what that looks like, let me get some more water right here, and I've mixed my red in with my pink. It's going to be pretty red still, but it's not going to be quite so fire engine red. It's going to be a little bit more berry color. So, and I am going to go ahead, and I have a size 7 brush. It might be a bit big, so feel free to grab a smaller brush if you desire so that the paint, it doesn't saturate quite so much. I'm going to go ahead and lay that down. I'm going to go with this one as well. And again, we're kind of breaking the rules because you usually do the bigger things first or the background first, but we're just having fun. We are literally, this is a watercolor sketch. Okay. I love that so much. Now, what I'm also going to do is I think I am going to, we have some ornaments here, and I'm going to do one of them red, 2 of them red, and you notice I'm not coloring them all the way in. I'm leaving some white space because we want to dance, right? We want our watercolors to dance. Let's go ahead. If you have, now grab that same red or pink, whatever you were using. If you were using a combination, grab the combination and mix it with some yellow. I do not want to introduce another color, a warm color, because we're going to be, whatever yellow we're going to use for our window, the light coming through, I want us to create an orange. So this is what mine is looking like right now. And so just showing you, I just grabbed some of this color that I mixed up, mixed it in, and we're getting a nice orange, and that's that cadmium medium that is pretty opaque. And we're going to create our oranges from that. Grab a smaller brush if you have one. It'll just be a little bit easier for some of our details, right? I'm going to move in. Uh-oh, that's moving out. We're going to move in closer. I'm going to back it up just a bit and pick up your orange And we're just going to set some of this orange down right in here. And this is a painting too where maybe you work on it throughout the week. Maybe you just lay down certain colors and then you come back to it. If you have a paint board, this is a really nice way you can lift it up. If you have kids or cats or dogs or you think might actually, you know, cause some damage to it, just go ahead and put that paint board somewhere where they can't reach it. So perfect. So I've got that other ornament right here. Since we're in here now, let's go ahead and pick up some of that nice yellow. And we're going to go ahead, get it really watery. What I'm going to do is I actually get my paint wet, my paintbrush full of paint, then I dip it in the water so it's pretty watery, and I am going to go ahead and lay down. You might notice we are getting in some, the paint splatters are moving around a bit, not a big deal. If you notice that the color's blending, just go ahead, we'll just take it off there. I'll grab some more yellow, get it nice and wet, and just drop a little bit on. And you know, you might think to yourself too, gosh, that yellow's a bit much. I didn't want that much light shining through. Oh, be careful of getting it too close to that red. And you can always, always, always take your paper towel, and this one is damp because I actually spilled water on a painting the other day that I was recording. We had to restart that recording. We sure did. So you can always damp it off a little bit and then come back on. Part of the reason too is I'm thinking about my other colors. So I know I had that yellow coming through. I'm almost tempted to make the door like kind of I don't know, because we're gonna have green for the tree, something probably blue, or maybe the door is gonna be brown. This will be brown, my house will be blue. I think red might be too much maybe. All right, I notice we have a little bit of bleeding of the paint right there. Okay, I'm gonna lift this back up. So we've got that down here. We're gonna I think I'm gonna just take a light brown, and you can tell I'm kind of going on the fly today. I'm gonna just do a nice wash right here around this orange. I don't want to incorporate too many colors, but I do want a number of colors around. Maybe we'll have a brown door. I'm going to go ahead and just lay that in. I'm going to get my brown pretty good wash here. Move this back up just a little bit so you can see that. I'm just going to lay that down a little bit inside the wreath. We haven't used our green yet, so we want to make sure we have lots of room for that. And that's one of the reasons I'm thinking too of just being careful with how much color I put down. Once again, I add that green, it's going to pop for sure. Especially our reds and oranges are already creating a little bit of a pop, right? It really is. And so I don't want to put I want to be bold and colorful, but not too much. And I'm going to go, dare I go in between just a little bit. I'm going to lay just a little bit of it down, and then we're not going to put too much because that red is still wet. Okay, and I'm just moving around in here. And some of those splatters are getting picked up. That's not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. I think I am going to take a bigger brush now. If you have one, great. If you don't have one, not a problem at all. I'm going to take a really light blue. And what I mean by that is I've got my phthalo blue, but I'm just going to get a real light color, and we're just going to wash. Just kind of wash around where we're going to have our evergreen. I have a lot of blue splatters on here now, so that way I'm not creating another color. We're going to go a little bit deeper underneath the window perhaps, because there would be more shadowing there, right? I'm going to move just down here a bit, letting that paint kind of dance and go where it will. I'm not too upset if we have the blue and the brown merged together because they typically play pretty nice together. We're going to put I can take, once again, I love round brushes because that tip, that nice tip at the end, it can really go into little tight places. And we're moving down here. And all the way down. There we go. Around our oranges here. and we'll have to color in our bow with our tiny brush in just a minute here. You might notice that your oranges, gosh, they look like they faded already. And if they look like they're a bit dull in color, you can just always add just a pop of more of orange. Again, try not to make the whole thing orange because the different variations of color and the white peeking out will really add to the pop of it. Make it pop and make it also look multi-dimensional. I'm going to go ahead, and since we're doing bows, I'm going to just do this bow too, right in here. And then we're going to leave the actual container, we're just going to leave it that color for now, but just the white. I will take some brown though, and right over here, I'm just going to lay this down. My first layer of brown, I may add some blue and just darken it up a bit. Or if you have like a sepia, we can for sure add sepia in there. Okay, now I'm going to pick up some green. And I'm going to go ahead and just go my little sweet Charlie Brown leaves. They're not even leaves, right? They are, what are those called on our evergreen trees? All of the needles, the pine needles. That took me a minute. We're just going to go all the way around here. If you notice your window's still wet, just pause and let it dry. This little tree is so cute. Maybe that's why we have the bough over, because we have to give a little bit of balance to our sweet tree, because it really is a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. Okay, I am just doing more needles here of these lovely pine needles and pretending that this is all of the pine needles and the branches that we picked up when we were getting our tree. When I was at the lot this year, I asked the gentleman if I could have the branches he was cutting off, and he gave them to me. I don't know why I had never asked before. And so that was fun, just to have some fresh pine branches to create with, right? And to put around the apartment, and then to add into some gifts as decor. All right, and we're going to just work on our wreath and creating our lovely evergreen wreath. Around and around and around. Okay, now I am going to let everything dry because, as you can see, it's getting pretty wet. We also have some merging of the blue and the brown. And that is just fine, not a big deal. I want to go around the outside of this window, I'm thinking, but not quite yet. Not yet. And I may do even like a brown, I'm not quite sure. I'll probably do a brown to match the door is what I'm thinking I'm going to do. The other thing is I might come back in here and add in a brown bow. I have left some white so I can do that, but it is pretty wet, so I am going to just let everything dry. We'll come back, we'll add in some more ink, but this is super cute. It's just very light and happy, right? It's lovely. It's beautiful. It'll actually be really pretty. I could use this for decor. I might slip this into a gift, use it for some journaling, but it's very, very happy and festive. So you could even stop here if you wanted, and it would be just lovely. Okay, so this is about 17 minutes in. We're going to let it dry, and feel free to let it dry for quite some time, and then come back and we'll add details together. All right, you guys, I will see you soon. Okay, everyone, are we ready to finish this up? It is completely dry now. I really, really love the way it's turning out. In fact, the colors are bright and light. I don't see too much. I see just a little bit of where it's a little bit watery, has the watermark look, but overall it's actually very clean, even with these splatters on. I'm just going to come in close. I actually love how the splatters, even under the window pane, there's just a fun look to it, just a whimsical look that I think is really fun for this time of year. So let's go ahead. I'm going to grab my micron pen. I just want to do just a little bit of detail work, and if you see anything that you want to add, just some details, maybe you want to add in some specific pine needles, this would be a great time to do that. I'm just going to do a few little things. This is where my bow is going to go, so I'm going to add that in. I'm going to add just a little bit more sketching here around my windowsill, I think, because I just want it to be a little bit more shadowy. I'm going to add some color there. So we're just going to make that a little bit stronger, and I want my basket to be a little bit more distinct. So we are going to go ahead and add a little bit of color to that basket, and then again just a little bit of color over here. We're going to do a little bit of shadowing. There we go. I'm going to just around the door here a bit. I'm going to put color in my doorknob. Just little bits around here. I'm actually going to add a little bit of an edge around a frame to the door, which I hadn't done that. And it looks a little bit incomplete without a frame. So if you see any sort of details like that, go ahead and sketch those in. This is really the time to do it. And again, we're not trying to make it perfect by any means. This is just a really loose sketch that I really wanted us to be able to complete. And about 2 10-15 inch sessions. So now that we have that, what we're going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and grab a little bit of color. I'm actually going to grab my yellow, and I am going to add just even a little bit of splattering, but just a bit of that pop of color right in my window, and not getting too close to my tree, because I do want to add some color there, but I wanted just to add a little bit of color there. I'm actually going to make my basket here. We're going to make this yellow just so I have a little bit more of that warmth spread throughout the whole painting. So I'm going to add that. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow in my Christmas bough up here, and then we're going to add a little bit more green to it. So once again, I'm just moving some yellow around, not too much, but you can even see where it starts to add the warmth. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that brown, get it nice and saturated, and then I'm going to come up and, for example, just even around inside my lovely Charlie Brown Christmas tree around here. I'm going to actually do some shadowing around this orange on the ground, around the door a bit. This is going to help our painting pop. I'm going to put some shadows here right in the windowsill. There we go, just on that inner edge. I'm going to come up and create the bow right up here and just drop in a little extra brown paint. I'm going to come up, and is there anywhere else where I wanted to do? I thought maybe a little bit on my Charlie Brown Christmas tree, just a little bit, showing the tree trunk, the very small, frail, but persevering tree trunk right there. Okay, I love that. On the doorknob, I'm going to go ahead and make that a darker brown. We'll put some shadowing over here, and then I'm going to just come up here around some of the edges underneath the bow a little bit. Now that it's dry, I'm feeling pretty good about not causing any sort of odd watermark. And I'm going to get it a little bit wet, and then I'm just going to blend it so that it doesn't look like I have blotches of color. We don't want blotches of color. I don't mind that I still have some white showing. That is just fine. All right, very good. I'm even going to come up here under my windowsill, and I'm going to come and add in the frame like that. And I think I'm actually going to make the windowsill, I was thinking of leaving it white. We're going to put just a hint of brown. Just a little bit. It's going to just help the whole thing sing together, and I really like that. The other thing that you can do, if you want to, grab a little bit of your blue. If you have some brown on it, that doesn't matter. Just mix it together. And if you wanted to add just a bit of some color, some shadow, if that feels too dark, add in some water. And then come back up here. I'm just going to add a little bit under my branches. Sometimes we can create the shadow by adding, for example, darker green, and other times we could add that emphasis by adding some shadows. And so I'm going to just move that in here a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit around the door frame, emphasizing that frame just a bit. I think that looks really good. I'm going to get a little bit more wet and then just pull it down. Pull it down around my tree, again showing that shadow. I'm kind of thinking too, this is the evening, someone's dropped off a gift of those oranges. I'm just going to randomly put some up here, and I'm actually going to add a little bit of shadow even around my oranges, and then underneath the lid of my orange, if I can see the little lid, that's looking really nice. I like that a lot. If you felt too that it was too much, you can always take a paper towel and just dab it a little bit, but we're going to let that dry. Always remember, it always is going to dry darker than it is when it's wet. I'm going to take that brown again, and I'm just going to go over and underneath inside the door again. Instead of adding a bunch of green to show the emphasis, I'm actually going to add a darker brown. Remember, contrast clarifies. So regardless of how you're adding that contrast, it will create just a clarification, right? A distinguishing of showing those details. Now, as I look, I love this. I think this is really cute. You can see too, we have lots of bright colors here. The only other thing that I'm seeing that I might want to do is possibly come in with my very tiny brush Grab in some more of that orange, right? One more time, a little bit of a dab of orange to my oranges, just to give it a bit. We have some shadowing going on here. You know what? I didn't actually shadow underneath my, we'll actually grab some of that blue, shadow underneath the basket here. I'm actually going to take some blue and the brown together because that creates a little, that nice shadowy color that I like. Lovely. We'll go right here. That's it. Very nice. And then I'm going to grab that red pink that we had created as well. And I'm going to add just a little bit right here to these ornaments. Right there. And then a little bit to my bow. Not everywhere, but just a little bit of a pop where I think, okay, I just want a little bit more. I'm also going to get it nice and wet, get some more paint. And then I'm actually going to do just a little bit of a splatter on the door. So a little bit of pink up here and then up here on that blue. And there we go. That is going to be it. Maybe a bit on the window. It's not, that's not hardly even showed up. So that is what it is looking like right now. And I think we're done. And that just took us not even 8 minutes to finish, right? Now, if you're thinking this in here, as I look through my camera lens, think the door looks just a bit blotchy. I can just come on up here and just smooth it out. And all I did with this brush is I just added some water. No color, just some water. And you can just smooth things out a bit. That looks really good. And we have some of those colors down here which are going to blend when they dry. It just, again, helps it pop. I love it. I think actually this is really, really cute. I'm going to go ahead and let it dry. I do want to show you though, if you just enjoy watching these and you're not painting along with me, I want to show you how fun it is when you pull this up. It is so much fun because you have a really clean edge. And then you can either frame this, like this is a 6 by 9, so I could get a frame pretty easily at a frame shop, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, IKEA. I found some really cute ones at Home Goods recently that were not too expensive, and frame it inside. But again, see that different look too. I'm again taking off that edge. If your painting is soaked, you want to let it dry, but we were just doing detail work, so I wasn't too bothered. I'm even going to grab my brush with just some water and then come, and sometimes I'll even do just a little bit more smoothing out, right? Just wanted a little bit smoother where I felt it might have been a bit of a water stain. And isn't that pretty? I think that's really a lot of fun. So go ahead and do one final look. Make sure it looks lovely. You could even add a little note. You could include this as a gift. I think this is really sweet. It looks very happy and cheery and just a wonderful way to finish up our Christmas art together. I have so enjoyed creating with you, and I've got some fun things scheduled for after the holidays. Now we will be finishing up with one more Advent, so if you've been coming along with that, I have just a little one Advent Christmas Eve celebration that we'll go through. So I will see you very, very soon.